Hello, my name is Nicole Bradford, and I am a volunteer with Historic Ships at the Independent Seaport Museum. I'm here to tell you about the women who served as waves during World War II. Prior to World War II, the only women permitted to serve in the U.S. Navy were nurses. There was, however, one exception. At the height of World War I, a group of women known as the Yeoman F stepped in to fill several positions formerly reserved only for men. Soon after the wartime emergency had ended, they were discharged from active duty, leaving nursing, again, as the only acceptable role for women until 1942. After the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor in December of 1941, war became imminent and the Navy found themselves facing a shortage of manpower. As a result, support for the inclusion of women in the armed forces quickly gained momentum. Despite resistance from many who did not believe a woman had a place in the U.S. Navy, on July 30th, 1942, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt signed Public Law 689, establishing a women's branch of the Naval Reserve. According to this law, women would not serve on the front lines. They would take over positions at shore stations and on the home front, freeing men to serve in active combat. Unlike the Women's Army Corps, or WACs as they were commonly known, who were functioning as a supplemental branch to the Army, the Women's Naval Reserve became an integrated part of the Navy. They would come to be known as WAVES, which stood for Women Accepted for Voluntary Emergency Service. Much like the Yeoman F had in the previous World War, volunteers would only serve for the duration of the war, plus 6 months, and only in the continental United States. They were prohibited from serving overseas, boarding naval ships, or combat aircraft, and were without command authority except within the women's branch of service. The lieutenant commander of the WAVES wanted their uniforms to strike a balance between functional and fashionable. Mainbacher, a well-known fashion designer and World War I veteran, was commissioned to create clothes that were practical and versatile as well as chic. A uniform of a well-fitted jacket, skirt, and shoe with a modest heel was designed to become the service dress uniform of the Women's Naval Reserve. This was the first military uniform in history to be designed by a prominent fashion designer. This alone persuaded many women to choose to enlist in the Navy over other branches of service. Mainbacher's design still remains the basis for the uniform worn by women in the Navy today. Equal pay for equal work created another incentive for women to enlist in the Naval Reserve. A male and female in the same rank earning the same salary very much appealed to them, especially in a world where women with the same credentials as a man were often paid as much as 50% less for performing the same job. As a Navy recruit, women would follow the same traditions and regulations, conduct the same work, and receive the same compensation as their male counterparts. At their peak strength, there were more than 86,000 waves on duty. This large number effectively released over 50,000 male sailors for duty aboard ships and in positions overseas. That was enough men to outfit an entire task force composed of 1 battleship, 2 large aircraft carriers, 2 heavy cruisers, 4 light cruisers, and 15 destroyers. The Navy's waves served as clerks, recruiters, mechanics, parachute riggers, aerographers, cryptologists, air traffic controllers, archivists, aviators, accountants, pharmacists, and nurses. They worked in hospitals, stores, mailrooms, photo labs, offices, libraries, air stations, and training bases. The Waves' contributions to the war effort were critical to winning the war. These women advanced the status of women in the Navy and held positions previously unassigned to women. Women like Elsa Gardner, who served as the Navy's only female nautical engineer, Grace Hopper, who helped develop a computer which aided in the detonation of the atom bomb, and many more like them pushed the perceived limits of what women were capable of and set the foundation for women in the Navy today.